And now I'd like to turn, we'll give the floor to Fredrik, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Magnus. My name is Fredrik Folin. I am the campaign director of GlobalEye, as is the specific segment within the Saab Total HX offering. I'll take the next 10-15 minutes or so to briefly run through the key aspects of GlobalEye as a strategic asset for the national Finnish Defence Forces. First of all, Saab has over 60 years of experience building best radars available to the market. And we have over 25 years of experience within the airborne early warning and control domain. So I guess it's safe to say that we have a pretty good idea what we're doing when it comes to radars and sensors. This has led us to a global footprint. In this picture we see the surface radar element, it's worldwide. And when we look to the airborne early warning and control segment, we have the biggest customer base in the world for our systems. Spanning from Mexico to Thailand, from Brazil to Sweden, we have delivered to 8 countries, over 20 systems throughout years. And the feedback that we get from our customers in relation to our capability of airborne early warning is fantastic. We constantly provide safety and security to people and society throughout the years. And that is very reassuring to us that we are doing the right stuff here.
The situation is tense. Known and unknown threats are growing beyond the horizon, on the ground, in the air, and at sea. You need full awareness of the situation to support your decisions. You need to take control of your surroundings. You need GlobalEye in the air. Suddenly, an unidentified aircraft approaches your border. The mission crew commander quickly requests scrambling of the quick reaction alert. At the same time, a suspect ship is leaving the coast. Are they related incidents? The sea surveillance operator and the Coast Guard conclude that the unknown ship is manned by pirates on their way to carry out an attack, and a fast patrol boat is launched. Since this is playing out far away from your own coastline, it's now up to GlobalEye to provide the overview you need. Meanwhile, the quick reaction alert is already in the air, headed towards the unknown aircraft, when that operation turns into a rescue operation of a friendly aircraft. With GlobalEye as the natural hub in both operations, you direct rescue resources to the aircraft in distress, and Coast Guard assets to intercept the pirate ship, while maintaining the air and sea surveillance mission. You have the situation under control. This situational awareness and the ability to take on multiple roles at the same time is made possible by GlobalEye's unique sensor suite and modern human-centric command and control system. Saab technology that lets you push the boundaries of what is possible to achieve.
So, with that film as a sort of a mindset, we can just briefly go through the effect of an elevated sensor. As Magnus pointed out, ground-based sensors have some limitations. They cannot see very far on low levels. Picture if you have a ground-based sensor, let's play with the thought that you put it on a mast, let's say 100 meters tall. The line of horizon for that radar will be only 40 kilometers. So that means that anything flying in low on or coming on surface level will be detected only 40 kilometers out. If you translate that into a time aspect, how much time do you have to react? The answer is very little, maybe too little. So what we're doing here is that we elevate the sensor. We send it high up in the sky, well above 35,000 feet. And by so we extend the low-level coverage with at least 10 times. That's 400 kilometers. If you translate that into time, it will give you an added pre-warning effect of at least 20 minutes. 20 minutes that could be critical for you in how you choose to operate in your time to react. And as Magnus also said previously, the reduction to the fighter fleet when it comes to their job of doing air policing, combat air patrol missions, CAPs as we say, is dramatically reduced, allowing them to be used in the most optimal way. That is all thanks to the fact that we offer an elevated sensor. Now, HX, it is a total capability approach from 2025 all the way up to 2060. And as I said, this is a strategic asset for maximizing Finland's national defense, from peace, through crisis, and ultimately, if worst comes to worst, also in war. We should remember that most military systems are used specifically for the task of war. GlobalEye is contrary to that. It is that, but it's also to be used in peacetime and in times of crisis, giving you return of investment over the entire life cycle in a very, very clear way. Also, introducing GlobalEye in order to be able to balance a potential adversary's capability. We know for a fact that a lot of nations are using airborne early warning and control as a very important component in their sort of multi-layered approach. GlobalEye will meet that, but also exceed any potential adversary's capability in this arena. That is also important to remember. And by so, we offer ultra-long range and deep intelligence platform for the future. GlobalEye is of course fully interoperable with the Gripen fighters and the ground-based legacy command and control chain of Finland. This means that the Gripen fighter pilot will, when he's flying his missions, share and have the same information that is coming from GlobalEye, allowing him to perform even better. Also, not only reducing and securing the cost effectiveness of the fighter fleet, this has a dramatic impact also for the Navy. It has a dramatic impact for the Army, especially maybe the GBAD, the ground-based air defense. Also, 2025 to 2060, it's quite a few years, right? So we need to make sure that also GlobalEye allows us to make future growth and capability enhancements as the threats become more refined. This is something that we picture that we want to do in coordination with the Finnish Defence Force and also, naturally, the Finnish industry. A few words about the new generation of threats. As we have said, threats continuously going to evolve. Electronic warfare and cybersecurity are very, very hot topics right now, as you may know. We also reckon that we will see stealthier objects, we will see faster objects, even maybe slower objects. All are potential threats. We can expect that there is an asymmetry to how we have to respond to those potential threats in all arenas, air, land and sea. And as the targets become increasingly more difficult to detect, we need to make sure that we have enough power and platforms to be able to survey this, to be ready for action. So, the picture on the left-hand side was the view looking from the side. On the right-hand side, this is basically what one GlobalEye will generate in terms of surveillance picture. The inner green line represents those 400 kilometers line of sight, and the outer blue line represents basically the instrumented range generated from just one GlobalEye in the air. So you can easily see that the magnitude of air, land and sea that will be surveyed just by one GlobalEye in the air is quite impressive. A few quick words about GlobalEye then as a unique solution. We are basing GlobalEye on three main pillars. First of all, we're introducing smart thinking. That means that we are performing, as the only airborne early warning control system out there, a multi-role platform. It allows us to support air, land and sea at the very same time. And in order to do so, we have to have the right sensors to do this. One of those sensors is the second pillar, that is the powerful radar system. The AreaEye Extended Range Radar is a true landmark when it comes to the latest of radars. It is extremely powerful. I'll go into that very shortly. The third pillar is of course to have an aircraft carrier that allows us to do this. We chose the Global 6000 series from Bombardier for a very good reason. It is fast, it is agile, it has high service altitudes, it can easily be upgraded it has the power to be upgraded for the future, and of course it has an extreme low logistical footprint, meaning that it is a cost-efficient platform over time. And from an operational point of view, our goal is to maximize the operational performance, finding all targets at any places, anywhere. That is our objective. And by GlobalEye, we are quite confident that that is what we're going to achieve. It is provided from a sensor point of view with the area extended range radar and the electronic support measures that is inherited in the platform. All this data that we are gathering needs to be controlled. Someone needs to be able to interpret all the data that is coming in. That is done via the command and control system on board the aircraft. However, we need to be able to share this data to the Gripen fighters and to the legacy C4I chain of Finland. This in order to achieve the best coconized turvallisuus effect that we can possibly imagine. Let's see here. So, a few quick words about the area extended range radar capabilities. It has an extremely long range of detection, over 550 kilometers. It has truly high accuracy, finding basically very, very small objects at any speeds. Also making sure that we know what altitude they are at. And it is very important to point out, it is extremely jamming resistant. The radar design itself, the selection of the frequency band for the radar, and the tremendous amount of power that we're able to push out through this radar in a very, very narrow beam gives us extreme robustness when it comes to jamming protection. All in all, this secures what the military often refers to as the ODA loop, the orient, the observe, the decide, and the active. If we can allow the user to be the fastest one to have the correct ODA loop, then we have basically won a great deal of the battle. Looking into the aircraft as it is scripted here in Finland, of course we have the main event sitting on the back, the area extended range radar. And as a matter of fact, this is already today. The dorsal unit, the cabinet, is made by Patria. Additionally to that, we have of course the electronic support measure and the electronic intelligence system that sits within the aircraft. In order to be able to communicate to the outside world, the Gripen fighters, and also to ground, we have voice communication, we have the data links, and we have SATCOM. And in order to pick up cooperative targets, in peace and crisis, we can expect the civil aviation to be cooperative, we can expect the sea vessels to be cooperative, so we have ADSP for the aviation, we have IAS for the sea, and of course for the friendly and allied forces military we have IFF. Sitting in back of the aircraft, ultimately we have a self-protecting system, for instance shafts and flaps. Looking inside the aircraft, basically what we're doing is that we have three main segments of the aircraft itself. In the aft section we have all the hardware and the computer needed to run the system. In the mid section we have the command and control. 5 mission operators can work side by side. Each can perform a specific task, or one operator can perform all tasks. Key here is that it is extremely flexible in how you set up the mission environment. So you don't necessarily have to be 5 people working constantly. You can perform some missions with 1 or maybe 2. In front of this section we have a mission commander or rest area if you so like. Imagine if you want to fly 11 hours or more on a mission, you may want to have time to get some rest. So this compartment allows us to have additional crew in order to be able to perform 100% over long periods of time. And in front, naturally, we have the 2 pilots. And they will enjoy the fact that they will be flying the most modern aircraft that is out there today from a civil aviation perspective. Yes. So, GlobalEye, to sum up, as a strategic asset for Finland, it is multi-role. It serves constantly and seamlessly across air, maritime and land domain. It is a true revolution in high performance and high availability with all the sensors that is equipped on board. It has seamless integration with the joint forces and the Gripen fighters. And it's in contract now, it is in production now, it is flying right now, so therefore it's ready to serve. And this is from the maiden flight some year ago. Okay, Magnus, I hand over to you for final closing.
Thank you, Fredrik. So we'll try to make a conclusion here and also leave some room for questions. As we see it, Gripen and GlobalEye is really a perfect match for Finland. First of all, Gripen meets the Finnish Defence Forces operational needs. It is, as we see it, designed for the environment. It is designed for the threats and the ways to be operated with dispersed operations, road bases, conscript mechanics, and all of that. GlobalEye, as we see it, offers a tremendously strong complement, lifting the whole offering to another level for comprehensive security and for the broader operational capabilities of the Finnish Defence Forces. A strategic asset. We know that nobody beats us when it comes to cost, especially not when looking at the total life cycle cost, and that includes then the cost of operation. The HX program is taking a design to cost approach, and that means that we have the possibility, whatever the budget will be decided for, to maximize the content in that. Security of supply is important. Not only do we have the toolbox, but also the true mindset of working closely together with both our customers and local industry. Very good examples, what we're doing right now in Brazil, setting up a production development center as well there, and to make a true transfer of capabilities. Timing, we think timing is right. Gripen is a proven and mature system. With the E-series updates, we add on the very latest technology on board. And with the future-proof design, this will be operationally relevant easily from 2025 to 2060. And last but not least, we have as a company a true commitment when it comes to Finland. We have a long heritage, Anders talked about it in the beginning. But in a more broader context, Finland and Sweden have a very close relationship. We see the clear drive and aim from the politicians both in Finland and Sweden for a further deepened defense cooperation, and all the aspect, of course, that we have in that field of synergies, we think is something that forms a good basis for this type of very long-term program the fighter aircraft acquisition is about. So this is the logic we see. We hope that many more people see it, and we are committed to the program and looking forward to the next coming phases with deeper discussions with the customer, and we will receive later this autumn an updated RFQ where we'll start to detail things, and we are elaborating that now in discussions together with the customer. And as you may know, in 2021, the Finnish Defence Forces aim at making their decision. So thank you very much for listening, and please, there is time for questions, and after that there will also be some refreshments, soft drinks, water, coffee, and lunch sandwiches in the little pavilion just here aside. But now questions, please.
No, it's very disappointing for Saab to hear produced from Switzerland, and I feel sorry about that as well. On the other hand, I think that that's a fit for Finland, because then you can focus on us. Is that right?
I'd say that we are not happy with the situation in Switzerland. It is what it is, but we clearly have to adapt to what the facts are today, and the customer is driving it. But as I said previously, we do not see any connection to our engagement here in Finland.
So, but sure. you still need to demonstrate within less than a year all the capabilities that you're promising, or most of them. in a real plane. So are you getting ready with that?
We are working hard on that. We have deep discussions together with the customer in order to plan for the data substantiation and flight evaluation activities. We are planning to bring aircraft in the beginning of next year here to Finland to do that. We are planning to use a broad set of tools in order to really substantiate everything. And we have, I think, a good understanding between ourselves and the customer that we need a number of different elements and components to substantiate. So the expectations are high, and we are working to meet those expectations as well as we can. The customer here in Finland perfectly well knows that we do not have available today on the apron or the runway the aircraft configuration that we are offering. As far as we understand it, they see it as logic, and there are ways to handle it because they want to buy something for the future. More questions?
Yeah. These GlobalEye planes, the crew that is doing the surveillance, do you think that that job could be done by Finnish conscripts, or should it be somebody who works for the Finnish Defence Forces? Is that something you can answer?
Yeah. In general terms, it is not really a conscript type of work. It is more the command and control type of operator task. Today, there are these types of people working, but with ground-based sensors on the ground, in caves and mountains, and doing similar types of work. And this type of profile, I would say, would be elevated inside a GlobalEye up in the air. And we see that the operation of the aircraft, that's quite an easy thing to integrate a new aircraft type, just as the Finnish Defence Forces today are operating Learjet CASAs and special mission aircraft. So this is another type of it, but there is no magic around what profile type it is for the work in the back.
Yeah, I may complement that. I mean, throughout the there's acoustic feedback here. Throughout the 25 years that we've been doing this, we have also naturally designed a very good training package, which always is tailor-made for the specific customer. And I mean, Finland is a high-end, high-driven customer, so for us it's basically very, very natural to perform a very easy and smooth training program for the right set of staff. Yeah.
More questions?
How long does the training take to operate the GlobalEye? How long does it take?
The training program?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on from where you come, right? The pilot training is quite straightforward. It's not a big deal. It's civilian training, basically. The mission operator training depends on, as I said, it will be done during the program phase, basically. So when the aircraft are ready, the Finnish Air Force will be ready to fly it. So it's basically inside the program. Yeah.
Please.
Just to clarify, are you able to send an E-type Gripen to these flight tests in Finland, and are the Finnish Air Force pilots able to fly next week?
Sorry, if the...
Are you able to send your E-type Gripen?
We plan...
Here, and are the Finnish pilots able to fly?
Yeah. We plan to send Gripen E, both serial and test aircraft to Finland next year. And we are right now discussing and looking into to what extent Finnish pilots will be able to take part and actually fly the mission. So we are discussing that, and I cannot go in public with all the details, but there's quite a lot of planning ongoing now between ourselves and the Finnish customer.
Was GlobalEye included already in the first proposal in January, or is it?
Yes, this is nothing new per se or new to the customer, but for tactical reasons, the competition is fierce. We decided not to disclose that, but this was part from the very beginning of the proposal that we issued in January this year. And we have even had it as part of the request for information and our RFI response back in 2016. However, we have more and more elaborated it, and it's a clear part of our package.